What the actual fuck?
So,
Welcome to WTAF On the Road Reviews.
yes. I'm Becca Meyer.
I'm Balding Ewok.
Yeah. And this time we're talking about
Justice
League, which has been out for a few days now. We finally got a chance to see it. And, this time we're joined by our new director, my daughter, Elise, in the back seat. She doesn't necessarily want to be on
I don't
camera.
even think she's in the shot.
She's not in the shot. She strategically positioned herself so she wasn't going to be in the shot. She doesn't want to be in the shot. So Justice League.
Yeah.
I like this movie a ton better than I thought I was going to. Especially when the Rotten Tomatoes reviews started coming out and it was like at 38%. I was worried that I was like, okay, see, our concerns have been verified. You know,
we braced ourselves before we went to see it. I even watched a couple reviews, and I warned you that some of our suspicions were...
Suspicions, that was a word.
Were confirmed. So we went in with low expectations, and actually came out pleasantly surprised.
It's not without its problems. My big problem with the movie was the first, I would say, 20, maybe 30 minutes, where... Okay, so all the DC movies building up to this, we've had Batman versus Superman, so we've had a Batman intro, we've had a Superman intro, and we've had a Wonder Woman intro. And then they drop in, what is it, two...
Cyborg and Flash
and
Aquaman.
Right, 3 characters that we have never met before in the DC universe movies. So what they felt, I guess, like they needed to do was give backstory to those 3 characters before they started the story. But it was the first 20 or 30 minutes of the movie where it was like, the problem with this movie is there's so many people that they're trying to give backstories to that the movie didn't get started until like 20 minutes in.
And to be honest with you, the first 15 minutes of the movie, I don't think you needed it all. It just made it slowed it down and made it boring. I wasn't into the movie or interested until 15 minutes in when they started battling over the mother box.
Right. As soon as that happened, suddenly...
Yeah, then I was like, no, now we're watching the movie.
Suddenly, and I remember, I think I turned to you and said, the movie just finally got good.
Yeah.
And then it stayed good from that point till the end.
That was the interesting thing about Justice League was comparing it to Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok had a lot of lull or boring moments through the movie. In fact, just recently we went to see some movies, and in between the movies, I thought I'd watch a little bit of Thor again.
How'd you do that? By stealing from artists?
No, I paid to see it. Okay, we paid money. We paid to see several movies that day. They got my money. So, but anyways, I'm in there thinking, I want to see some of these things again, because I remember I was tired when the first time we saw it, so I didn't fully grasp all of Thor. But then I just got bored. Yeah. And I said, let me go see Justice League again, because I remember enjoying it. And I had more fun watching Justice League again than I did Thor, which I didn't expect that.
Yeah. I do like the Zack Snyder version of Batman. I like the way he looks. I like the way he sounds when he talks.
Well,
I think it's cool and it feels more like a comic book. I think I saw somewhere else where somebody said that the Zack Snyder version of Batman feels more like a...
Let's get specific. You like the action?
I like the action
version of Batman, not necessarily the character development part of Batman. Because he's more emo.
He's a little more... Well, Batman's always been a moody bastard.
Right, but he's more emotionally extroverted in the movie. Normal Batman, regular Batman that we all know and love, is like a Sherlock Holmes. And he doesn't get emotional. He makes logical decisions.
Right. Well, I guess then if you're right if you're right about that, which I'm sure you are, then yes, I prefer the the action, the Batman who's in action. I like the way the suit looks.
Right.
I like the way when he talks, he's got that sort of the electric sounding voice, the vocal disguise that he uses.
So, yeah, in a way, I guess we could split it up into Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
I think what we both agree on is that we love the Zack Snyder Batman, but we don't necessarily love the Zack Snyder Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and I don't love the writing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the writing, the written version of Batman, he looks cool.
I'll give you an example. This
Okay.
is what's wrong with the new Batman or Bruce Wayne. Early on in the movie, when they're trying to recruit, and he tells Wonder Woman, he says, "I put a tracker on his jacket," but then he lost it, or what did he say? Then he, got rid of it, and I have such problems with that line because Batman is a very smart person. This is an Aquaman guy. Aquaman, when you go swimming, do you go swim in your coats and your jackets and stuff? No. It's a no-brainer. He's gonna take off the jacket. He swims in the water, the king of the sea. Why would you put a tracker on the jacket and then be like, how could I know that when he went for a swim?
What is that guy doing?
Well, you can't get a shot of it.
We can't get a shot of him and that guy.
This is what he was doing. I don't know.
All right, so back to our review.
But so, you know what I'm saying? That's not the Batman we know and love.
Yeah,
Like the day I thought, the tracker would work.
I thought the tracker would
I
work.
put it on the jacket, took it off with a flip. I don't know what happened. I did go pops.
And it wasn't waterproof.
Yeah.
No.
Batman thinks these things through.
So Batman and Wonder Woman are the best parts, I think, of the movie.
Yes.
I really liked. Okay, so the three that haven't been in any movies before. I like the character, the robot guy. We were talking about the robot guy,
Robot
Cyborg.
guy.
I like his character.
He was
Again,
actually good.
his backstory that they showed us in the first 20 minutes of the movie is I would have liked to seen a whole movie of that. But what they did is I felt like they instead just gave us the basic of what we needed to know, and it was so abbreviated that then it just made the movie we were watching feel slow by adding the extra stuff. I like the character. I think it's pretty cool what has happened to him and all that stuff. But the Flash, my suspicions on that were confirmed also. He's annoying. He's annoying. It's not funny. He actually did have some funny parts. Some of his lines were actually funny, but it was he is annoying. The guy playing.
I have to tell you, everything about the Flash, for me, sucks. I mean, he was passable. The guy playing him was passable. I mean, and the visual effects with the blue lightning and all of that is cool. But everything, just about everything, all the choices the actor made, and I don't even necessarily like how weak and nerdy he is, because all the versions of Flash I've ever seen, he was charismatic and extroverted.
This version of him, he was like a video game nerd.
Yeah,
he was locked up in his
he's like, I just push people and run away.
Yeah, that's
which is okay.
Yeah.
But the way he ran, was there some kind of I think one of the cut scenes at the end, not cut scenes, the
post-credit scenes.
Post-credit scenes.
Don't go into it, but just say.
Well, you see him running in one of the clips, and I've never seen anyone run so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like what were his legs doing? Like they were
What were
flying
his legs doing?
way out in a weird contorted way that I didn't think the human body could do. That's not how. It's weird. It's just
I
weird
thought
choice.
I noticed that a couple times though, because his arms, instead of going out like this, he like
Yeah,
they go
this-
like this when he runs. It's just weird.
Like he
looking.
was swim running. I don't know
Swim
what
running.
the hell.
Swim
It
running.
was bad.
But Aquaman, which the Aquaman in the trailer kind of got on my nerves. I was like, yeah, I feel like it's just gonna be.
Oh yeah, they're
but-
throwing him around in the sky.
But
and-
Aquaman was badass. I want to see an Aquaman movie. Like, why haven't we seen Aquaman? Because even his old like, it seemed what's his mythological background? Is it
Atlantean.
his Atlantean background? It made him sort of like a renegade badass like rock star version of it.
Right.
And Jason Momoa, is it Momoa? I always feel like I'm saying it
guess.
wrong. It's that guy who's playing. It's Momoa.
Yeah.
That guy who's playing the part is good at that. Like I want to be that guy. He's cool. You know what I mean? He comes off as really cool. But since they had to throw him into this movie because they're saying, "Hey, Marvel, we can do it too. We're DC. We can do it too."
Yeah.
They're just gonna pile everything into this movie. I feel like Marvel's, even though I have gotten fatigued from the superhero thing, I feel like Marvel started out their first phase where they did individual movies so that they could just jump into a story when they did the Avengers. Did the right thing. I realized, and we've been shitting on the movie a little
You
bit.
said Marvel did the right thing.
Marvel did the right thing by having Iron Man,
Oh, okay.
an Iron Man movie, almost as a
Right.
preface chapter to the Avenger movies.
And that
Like,
DC is kind of jumping ahead. And
yeah, because they're playing like catch up.
yeah.
I will tell you
They
that
should have had a Flash movie first.
they should have maybe done all of them. Like, why are they in such a hurry to get them all together? They should have taken their time, like Marvel did, and then solve the DC superhero fatigue thing that we're now experiencing with Marvel movies. Solve that problem later once you've set the universe up properly. I do think that I realized that I like pretty much all of the characters. The Flash annoyed me, but I like the character. I like the addition of seeing something new.
Yeah.
So I realized, I think I mentioned this to you, my superhero fatigue may be Marvel fatigue. Because it's like, I'm not in love anymore with like any of the Avengers concept or Iron Man. I like those characters, but I've seen them like 15 times in 15 different movies
Yeah.
now. But like Spider-Man, when they started bringing in
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
Homecoming is great.
it's great.
The
I
new
sort of
Spider-Man is amazing.
and Guardians of the Galaxy, I've enjoyed those, and I feel like watching this DC movie,
Mm-hmm.
the DC movies like with Wonder Woman and this Justice League, I feel like maybe what I realized is that I was having Marvel fatigue, and now that I'm just seeing something different, I'm sort of excited about it again.
Well, I hope that they do the Flashpoint movie really soon.
That was Flashpoint.
No. Flashpoint is a alternate timeline
Oh, okay.
where Flash goes back to change, save his mother's life, and
Oh.
and basically, good guys turn bad and the bad guys turn good. He ruins, f's everything up.
Oh, so messing with the time.
Right.
Like, yeah, the continuum. That's
So
good.
I
like
think that would be such a fun movie.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the superhero fatigue, and not to mention we got to see Superman and some other people like just
Yeah.
full on
Yeah, it was
kick
fun.
ass and go all out. And so a Flashpoint movie like that, where some of the good guys are bad and whatever,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
It was, so we shat on the movie a little bit, but that we're just nitpicking the parts we don't like. So briefly,
we were pleasantly surprised.
well, I remember 25 minutes in, going, maybe it was an hour in. I remember I turned to you and I said, I'm liking this. This is like
Yeah.
way more fun than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of fun if you can get past the first 20 minutes. And I have no idea why the Rotten Tomatoes score is so low. I think it's just like, oh, DC put out another movie. I hate it. You know what I mean? Because even I was doing just a little bit of that. Because I was like, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I have to tell you, it was well paced because you don't get, once it starts,
Yeah, once the story
you
starts,
don't get bored.
you don't get bored. It's got some funny parts. It's got some badass parts. I like the Batman crawler thing, with the bat crawler thing that was crawling
Oh
walls.
yeah,
My problem with things like that, they like this happens a lot in Batman movies, where Batman they start Batman up on, like they introduce his badass cool thing, right? And then in the next scene, it gets destroyed, or you never see it again. It's like, well, Batman got to use that multi-billion-dollar device one time, and it got destroyed by the thing.
hmm
But I wish that like we still haven't seen Batman fly and his little Batwing thing. Like I want to see the Zack Snyder version of that. Zack Snyder's visual sense is so cool. I'd like to see what that
I
stuff
have to
looks
tell
like.
you, the great thing about Batman in the Zack Snyder universe is that you see him be more like in the Arkham video games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten
I
to
haven't
play
played
it at
I
all,
haven't
but
played it, so I haven't played it.
the fighting mechanics and all of that, what you get to see Batman do, like come alive out of the comics, like
Yeah.
how you imagine in your head.
Yeah.
So I got to see in the movie Batman not being restrained. I mean, that's how Batman, you imagine that's how he is all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to see him do combo moves and just be the Batman you imagine instead of the, you know, storytelling Batman. I think that we're used to.
One more complaint is, and this is something that I'd heard about before we saw the movie. I think you mentioned to me that you read that they went back to sexualizing the one female part. There were so many unnecessary shots of not Linda Carter.
But that's what
Linda
they were
Carter's
doing.
the one who played Superman.
I know, but they
Wonder
were
Woman.
trying to
So many shots of her ass, and there is a scene where Flash
runs into her
and lands in between her chest, and his face is in her chest. It's like so unnecessary. It's like we just had the Girl Power movie. That was the last DC movie that came out. We had Girl Power, except for when she's around all these guys. Now we're gonna show shots of her ass, and it's unnecessary. And it was so obvious that it was shots of her ass and none of the other. It's not like just everybody's walking away from the camera and her ass is in the shot with everybody else's ass. It's like a close up of her ass. I mean, she's a beautiful woman and all that stuff, but I kind of feel like it was so unnecessary, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the movies are made. I know movies are made for teenage. These movies are made for teenage boys, but I feel like you took away from some of the progress you made with the Wonder Woman idea in the last movie by now dumbing her down for teenage boys again. Let her keep being that symbol so that teenage boys can also see how women should be portrayed in movies like this.
Right.
Anyway, that's my one thing. However, all of that stuff is a very fun movie, surprisingly fun, and I was so happy that I didn't have to walk out and do this review with you and shit all over it. Like just hate on the movie, because I don't like hating movies. I want to go see a movie and like it. I want to like the movie. It just doesn't happen a lot of times with these movies. It's fun, and I think what they've landed on is, look, action. It should just be a lot, like, give us some characters that we care about. We already care about Batman. We already care about that. We don't have to see a lot of drawn out melodrama stories about how Batman's old. He might not be able to be Batman forever. We keep talking about that in all the movies. We don't need to keep just start a story and tell it. You know, you don't have to like have all these pauses where suddenly we express our feelings and concerns about the weight of the world being on our shoulders and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just need to see them struggle through it. Is what I really
We don't need extra scenes of, well, how does Lois Lane feel about Superman still being dead?
Yeah.
We don't care.
Especially
Just get to the movie.
Especially since everybody knows Superman's not dead. If we really thought Superman was dead, that scene would be important. But everybody knows Superman's not dead. You've spoiled it in the trailers. Like, we know Superman's back. And by the way, we know Superman's not dead from when he died in the last movie. Everybody just knows it's like a fake cliffhanger. Like, he's not dead.
Yeah.
The movie I would like to make is, I'll kill Superman and let him be really dead. That's the superhero movie I want to make. The one that nobody's going to want to see because we're killing off Superman.
Right.
Anyway, But we say go see it.
Mhm.
We say go see it, especially if you like that sort of movie.
Yeah, you're not a fan of superheroes and genre movies, and you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a
And
lot.
I am a fan. I'm like I've seen all the cartoons, and I know most of the backstories on everything, and I enjoyed it as
Yeah.
well. They got most of it right.
Elise, our director, did you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that's it. That's it for now. We're done, right? That's all.
Yeah.
We've said all we need to say about the movie.
Yep.
Go see it. I actually loved it. I think.
I did too.
Yeah. So go see it and catch us next time. I'm not sure what movie we're gonna do next, but
We
we'll
got
see.
like 2 or 3 that we could
Yeah.
just pile
Yeah,
on.
we can pile on. Yeah. So we will talk to you soon. Thank you for watching, and don't text and drive. Please keep making that face.